Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your very first gameplay and overview straight from the Leviathan's dev server for a vehicle that so many people have been wanting for so long, the F2A. That's right. This will be, at least per the dev server, a 13.7 jet fighter for the Japanese air tech tree and will, of course, be sitting just after the F-16AJ when it comes to the game. Now, of course, being that this is the dev server, literally everything that you see, including the models, weapons, and pretty much anything else stats, they are all up for change before and even beyond the release of the major update. So just want to leave that in here. Now, that being said, this vehicle is going to be pretty damn good, as one could imagine. It has a pretty interesting loadout as well. It can carry AAM-4s, up to 4 of them, as well as AAM-3s, up to 4 of those as well. So it can carry up to 8 very good missiles, especially those AAM-3 for close range, and of course, we all know the AAM-4s are also very good. But this also has a very capable anti-ground and also anti-shipping capability. So it can carry a bunch of dumb bombs. As you can see, it has 2,000 pounders, some 500 pounders, and of course you can also carry some guided bombs in the form of JDAMs and also LJDAMs and some regular JDAMs again, and some Zunis and Mighty Mouse. But this also has the secret sauce insofar as the ASM-1 and ASM-2 missiles. Now, I was briefly able to get them work in test drive. I'm not entirely sure how they work exactly as of right now, but I was able to get them to go based on some radar tracking. So again, this is the dev server. It might just not even be me, but I'm assuming it's me. Being that these are a new weapon, they're a little bit difficult for me to actually figure out. So we'll see if we can use them in this gameplay. But that being said, let's go ahead, jump into a match or two, see how this thing does. But one other thing actually before I do that, a lot of people say this is the F-16, this is the F-16. No, not really. It looks like the F-16, but it's actually a very different vehicle. So as you can see, I mean, the F-16 actually is a bit smaller than the F-16 or than the F-2A. So I mean, the F-2A isn't like monstrously bigger, but you have different tail surfaces. I think you have a different engine, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you do have a different engine with this. It's just a different plane overall. A lot of the avionics are different. It's got a different shaping, slightly different shaping at least, different size. This is a bigger plane, of course, and of course a different mission. But that said, let's get into a few matches and see how we do. So, being that this is the dev server, it's pretty important to note a few things. First and foremost, there's only 6 players on the enemy team, and they're not really players, they're bots, because unfortunately not enough people play in the dev server. We have an enemy way out there. I'm going to go ahead and just launch on these guys, see what we could do. I doubt I'm going to be able to get some hits, but you never know. But let's go ahead and I'm going to launch on him again. That's probably the same guy it has before. Then we have some guy way out there, probably a bit far out for each of them, but let's go ahead and test them out. So as you can see, the cockpit isn't even fully rendered here, unfortunately. It is just partially rendered, if that makes any level of sense. And I think that kind of gives me an indication as to how far along this vehicle is. I mean, it's obviously really close to being, released, but it's not quite there yet, which is fine. Ultimately, that's totally fine. And, I mean, just in general, it has really nice roll rate. It seems like its maneuverability is pretty good. Stat card-wise, it is a touch better than the F-16. Ooh, we have ourselves a hit. It was that guy. Let's see if we have anyone else flying. Okay, we had one. So, that was a nice hit. It was right from 30 kilometers out. Not something that you can always expect, but of course you can hope for. And also, this does not, at least currently, have a helmet-mounted display. Again, unfortunately. So, I'm going to go ahead and launch an AAM-3 on this fella here, if I can help it. Okay, it's not going to matter, because my ally got to him first. And bear in mind that I do have, if I'm not mistaken, a fully aced crew. He's dead too. Well, almost dead. Let's go ahead and see if we can get that kill. And we got the aircraft finish off. So, I mean, in general, this thing seems pretty good. I can tell you this right now. By the time I got to, like the spot where I started firing the missiles, that F-15J, and bear in mind, he was going all out, but that F-15J M was probably around, 11 to 12 kilometers ahead of me, and flying at low altitude, no less. So when it comes to just straight up acceleration, this vehicle might not be the absolute best. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not going to be quite as good as what a lot of other planes are capable of. But when it comes to like low-ish speed, like, subsonic roll rate and all that, let's go ahead and just turn. When it comes to maneuverability, this thing is, for lack of a better way of saying it, hella good. It's got really good missiles, really good radar, again, thus far. It's just a touch sluggish, and we'll have to wait and see if other features like helmet-mounted display come in. But as of right now, they're not there. But again, this thing is obviously incomplete, so we'll have to wait and see. That being said, let's go ahead and just kind of move up towards these guys. I'm going to actually switch out my thing here. So there's quite a few different radar modes, which is pretty cool, but nothing like unusual, really. But I'm just going to go ahead and fire my missiles. No, never mind. It's over. So let's just go into another match, see how we can do. But thus far, I mean, I'm not unimpressed by it. It just seems like a good aircraft and nothing I can really complain about, but definitely something that seems to be somewhat incomplete. So we have our first jets. Like I said, our first enemies, rather, that are appearing on radar. Like I said, when it comes to the radar and the missiles, they actually seem to be quite good on this. Like I've said 50 bajillion times before and after, it does, like, anything that you see is eligible to be changed up to and whatever, right? Beyond the release of the dev server, or the primary server. However, these things look pretty good. I mean, like, right now, when it comes to the radar and whatnot, they seem to actually be really, really nice. Like, not necessarily the greatest in the game, but definitely extremely powerful. Look at that. We already have ourselves a hit. Looks like on that F-104. Yes, that's what it was. And that was from, like, what? I launched at 18 kilometers away. I think I've already launched on this guy. Not entirely sure. Yeah, I have, but you know what? You can always use a fresh one. You never know. And then, at this point, probably shouldn't switch out of this. Oh, we have carriers. Would have been perfect if I had my anti-ship missiles. But, alas, I do not. I'm just going to go ahead and switch my... whatchamacallit? And we got him. Not bad. And we still have... oh, wow, the original missile actually hit him. That's funny. I did not expect that. But, like I said, this thing has very, very good maneuverability thus far. A bit sluggish. It's got excellent radar, excellent missiles, both the AAM-3 and AAM-4s. It's got decent roll rate. Again, I mean, it's very F-16-like roll rate, obviously. It feels like it is slightly more maneuverable than the F-16, but just a little. It feels like it's a bit more sluggish than the F-16. Definitely feels like that. But otherwise, I mean, it just feels like a very good overall plane. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure if this thing was supposed to get helmet-mounted display, but if it was, it certainly does not have it right now. So, that said, let's just kind of get into a test drive and test out the ASM missiles and see what they're all about, because, quite honestly, I've not had a lot of luck with them. I've only had luck firing them against planes, oddly enough. Okay, so, like I said, I had some success, this is the ASM-1, with locking on to aircraft via radar. But that's it. So, I'm not entirely sure, and if you're wondering, as you can see here, this is the ASM-1 right here, and this is the ASM-2. They literally have the same exact specs. Unless I'm missing something, it's the same. They have the same guidance, same band, same mass, same launch range, same warhead type, same pretty much everything. I mean, it's almost shocking in a way how similar they are to each other. And so it's just a little bit strange exactly what they're all about. As you can see, I mean, like, I'm not going to hit that guy, which is fine. And then once I switch over to this, now all of a sudden, I don't think I can track him unless I am silly here. Okay. Do I need the targeting pod, I wonder, in order to track properly? I don't think so. I mean, that wouldn't really make much sense. But we could certainly try. And then... yeah, see? I do the same exact things, and it just does not seem to want to work. But then we have the jet, and it works. Is this... so, like I said, I think on the... at least currently... and again, I may just be a big old idiot here. I'm not entirely sure. But it seems as though... like, because this has ARH plus IOG guidance, right? Like, active radar homing and all that. So, is it just that the radar isn't really picking up the ships yet? I'm not entirely sure. I remember the Tornado... what was it? The IDS, whatever the... anti-shipping Tornado is. Technically, I think that had the first anti-shipping missiles, and I was able to get those to work very, very minimally against ships in very certain circumstances. Perhaps this is the same thing with this. I'm not entirely sure, but it is definitely iffy. It's definitely not really working quite as well as I would hope that it would work. Regardless of the missile type, unfortunately, it just does not seem to want to be working here. You know, again, whether it's the ASM-1 or the 2. But again, I could just be a big old idiot. So let me know in the comments below what I am, if I'm just an idiot. Because if I am an idiot, that would actually explain plenty, even about my own life. But that said, thanks so much for watching. You know, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. I'll try to do some videos on Yamato, Bismarck, Iowa, Vanguard even, and possibly Roma, Richelieu, whatever. I do want to... I'll probably combine most of the... or like 2 or 3 of the battleships into one video. So we'll just go ahead and see about that. But this is not an update where I'm going to be making a lot of dev server videos. But again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.